Okay, well that camera shot's kind of overexposed compared to what I'm seeing, but it's a beautiful sunrise here in Budapest. It's the 17th, just got off the plane, cleared customs. Okay, so this is a very recognizable centerpiece downtown Budapest. There's this big food market. It's closed right now. They got security. I don't want to walk through there with just impose myself, but there's so many of these little markets everywhere. Food markets, and if I remember right, last year this one, you can see how there's kind of an open space there. This one takes a right turn and then a left, and then it gets bigger. And I think, if I remember right, 2 years ago, not last year, 2 years ago, if I remember right, there was a skating rink over here too, ice skating rink. But it's just, you know, there's so much to look at. I could spend hours Budapest. There's so many places I could just spend hours just standing still, looking at the architecture and just enjoying life. Oh, I thought I smelled something. Oh, these are wicked good. Wicked good. Oh, yeah. Oh, still smell it. Yeah, so this market's a little bit open. Got the Christmas stuff going on over here. I want to find a place and have goulash, the same place I had it last time, for lunch today if I can. See, there's the market. Look at this. This is just insane. And all these open up. The food here is amazing. There was a lady here a couple years ago that had these fur coats. It was just spectacular. Fur coats, fur hats, fur gloves, and it was just amazing. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. Now, the one thing that kind of does suck about wintertime here is some of the statues they'll cover to protect from the snow and the frost. So you know, some of the older or more intricate statues get covered up, yeah. So I don't see the skating rink, but you can see this is a big area, and it's all just food stalls, shopping, treats. It's just, and when you're bored, you get to stop and look around and enjoy this. And they light it all up. You can see they've got a bunch of lights on the pole there. There's a bunch more over there. There's a tree. It's just, I'm gonna try to get back here tonight and get some scenes, or one of these nights. I'm here for a few nights, but you know, this is Christmas to me. Like, I've never experienced anything like this until I was in Germany on accident around Christmas time. I had to go to the hospital in Germany for get some stuff checked out, and you know, ended up in Kaiserslautern, and they have a whole big town like this. The Kaiserslautern area, I guess. But and then when I was over here 2 years ago, I was in the Azores, and I was talking to somebody about the Krampus festivals, and I didn't make it to those, but I made it here, and I made it to Poland. And in fact, I think I remember this. I would think I was just looking at a video of this guy. If it's the same place, they had just all these plates of food, sample plates, and it was just like, holy smokes, just spectacular. And it smells. Even right now at like 9:30, 10 in the morning, 10 I guess, the chimes just rang. It still smells fabulous. Somebody over there getting a picture taken by the Santa chair. Yeah, I'm so excited to be back here. I'm gonna head down to the river. The weather's amazing today. To be honest, I would like a foot of snow, just because me, but I understand not everybody likes the snow, but yeah, I would, not gonna lie. I very much would like about a foot of snow. Yeah, so my memory's not great on where to go from here, but I know the river's that way. I don't remember right, left, right, I don't remember. So I'm just gonna wander, and I'll click it on when I find something interesting. But yeah, I'm super excited and happy to be back here at Budapest. This place is just blows me away. There's a better picture. Look, you can see the whole thing, whole kit and caboodle now. Look at that. And there's stunning architecture like that all over this city. I was here for like 3 weeks and I just barely got a taste of it. Just barely got a taste. Okay, we got to get down to the river with that clean, crisp air and the sunshine. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. So I almost missed this. There's this big bronze statue here to rub his belly, and but there was a big crowd taking a photo, so it's kind of funny. I almost missed him. But these statues are everywhere in Budapest, and like I thought one day I was walking around and I was taking pictures of them, and I was like, man, if I were a professional photographer, you could spend probably a month doing nothing but trying to frame all the bronze statues, because you want to get the lighting right and everything right. You could probably easily spend a month doing nothing but photo shooting the bronze statues. And then of course I'm a geek, so I love seeing all these manhole covers that are just beautiful. And this is, it's funny because Japan does the same thing, and so does Poland and a couple other places, but they're manhole covers and they're beautiful. Like, who does that, right? You're gonna walk on it, you're gonna drive on it, and they still take the time to make it beautiful. I've been ranting about this for years because I love it, because it makes me happy. It fills me with joy seeing people put time and energy to make things beautiful, even when they don't have to, even when it's not smart, even when it's not cost effective. It's just, it's just amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna shut off and I'll be back in a little bit. On that big long rant about making things beautiful, and I don't know if you can see him, but there's a guy back there over my right shoulder, and he's taking a feather duster to the side of his building. He's literally taking a feather duster to the bars around the windowsills, everything, just to make it beautiful. And he's got the apron on like he's working behind the counter at a deli. He's out there, he's my age or older, maybe, I don't know, but he's not a kid. He's just out there with that sense of pride. I want to make this beautiful. And I just went on that long rant, and then I run across him. It's like I had to stop and, say thank you and acknowledge his effort. But man, it's just, life is good. Life is really, really good. And I'm on this high right now. I don't know if it's sugar, adrenalines, endorphins, or if somebody slipped something in my drink last night on the airplane. But, it's one of those moments when just everything is coming together. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful city filled with beautiful people. And not an ounce of drama or negativity in my soul today. Just fabulous. Just fabulous. And there's so much to look at. So much to look at. Check this out. Look at the peacocks. Big iron gates into the building, but look at the peacocks. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, well, I'm shooting into the sun. I know that's a major no-no, but this statue over here is one of my favorites. It's got some gods around the bottom, big dude on top. It's really beautiful. I may or may not get out there today to get closer to it, but it's just amazing. And over here you got the bridge with the lions, and then behind it's a big building. I'll get a better shot of that in a moment. But just a spectacular morning. The sky is so clear. It's just really great. And there's so much to see here. Like, it's hard to put it into perspective, but look way over there. There's a statue on top of that hill with the flag and everything, and all kinds of stuff up there. all kinds of stuff here. If you keep walking this down, there's, you know, statues and buildings, and you go this way and there's statues and buildings. And it's just literally all you have to do is get off a plane, you know, drop your stuff at your hotel and start wandering around if you want. I mean, if you want to be a checklist tourist, you can do that and create the checklist for all the stuff you want to go see. But Budapest is one of those places where I'll bet you'll be plenty happy if you just wander around for 2 days with no agenda, just wander. And I'll bet you'll be plenty happy. In fact, there's a place I kind of want to make it back to. It's upriver, and there's an island in the middle of the river. So it's past the island on the left, and it was this back alley, but there was all this amazing street art. This, you know, graffiti artist went out there, and I mean, it was just it was unbelievable work. And you know, I've been thinking about trying to make it back out there. There's a neat old train bridge you walk across. So I may try and put that on my schedule, or just, you know, make it happen on a random day. But it's just, there's so many places, and you just have to wander around. You don't have to, I mean, there's plenty to see and do. Like if you want to make a checklist and go that route, right, that's definitely a good thing. But my experience here last year is, you know, maybe pick 1 or 2 things a day you want to go see, and then the rest of the time I think you'll be plenty happy just wandering around, checking stuff out, exploring. You know, I found this one little neighborhood, reminds me of San Francisco in like the early 90s. It's kind of got that, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely got that vibe, and it's just crazy. There's a big guy. Here's what it says. Place to lock your padlocks. And here's a good down upstream, I guess. Yeah, upriver shot, but downstream with the sunlight. Nice, good shot of that. Just a beautiful day. And you can start to see these big buildings on the right. They just go all the way to that next bridge, if I remember right. But it's just crazy. Just crazy. And the double steeples over here, I remember stopping by there. There's just so much to see and do. So much to see and do. Now, I never did do one of these cruises. That is definitely something I'd like to look into. A Viking river cruise up and down this river. So one thing about having an agenda, a schedule, is, you know, you won't end up like me. Like right now, I'm just sitting here staring at everything. And like I could just sit down right here, you know, with a bottle of water or a cup of coffee and just enjoy it for, you know, hours. And that might or might not be time wasted, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is for this first day in Budapest, I'm going to head down upstream, go look for the there's a bunch of statues up there I remember from my trip 2 years ago. I want to go see again, kind of spend more time up there, and go look for the Ronald Reagan statue and see if I can find that again. And then, you know, I want to make sure I don't get hit by jet lag. So, you know, the Bangkok to Budapest in 30 hours or whatever it was, you know, it's 6 or 7 time zones, something like that. I can't remember. So, you know, the potential to get hammered with jet lag is there, especially for me. Traveling into the sun seems to be a little bit harder than traveling against it. I got that backwards. So traveling with the sun is usually easier. So see, I'm a little loopy from lack of sleep and excitement. So so I should be okay, actually. I was getting kind of worried. I had that reversed in my thought process, and I was getting a little worried about the next 3 or 4 days, because if you get hammered by jet lag really bad one day, it takes 3 or 4 days to shake it off. But I found if I can shake off the jet lag on that first day, then I'm good. So the whole thing is, you know, shake it off that first day. And part of what I'm doing is I'm outside, I'm getting sun on my eyes, right? I got some good breakfast, and you I'll go into that in a whole nother thing, but shaking off that jet lag on that first day, for me, when I make a long trip, is really, really important. And for me personally, I've got it down to a bit of a routine, but my routine won't work for everybody. There's a lot of good videos on it, and recommend you seek those out and sort out your own routine if you're going to be doing this on a regular, or even if it's just a big single trip. You want to set yourself up for the best experience, not for a blah 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 experience, right? And remember, the more tired you are, the less you remember long term, and it dulls your emotions. So a lot of people don't talk about this, but when you are exhausted, it dulls your emotions and it impedes your memories. So if you're going to spend a ton of money on a vacation, you probably want to remember it and get the most out of it. So part of that vacation plan should definitely be your sleep rest plan, and that should really be a super important part of it, especially if you're not the 22-year-old party monster anymore. But I'm gonna keep walking and talking, because I'm an old man with gray hair, and that's what I like to do. I like to walk, talk, eat, drink, and enjoy life. And let me tell you, getting down here and getting that river air back in my lungs and my nose really reminds me of how ecstatic I was last time I was here. It was the first time I'd been here, and it's just so much bigger than I ever would have dreamed. Everything is just so much bigger. It's one of those places I'd put on the must-do list, even if it's just 2 days in Budapest. I would say if you're in Europe and you have the time, right, there's a lot of places to go, but this is one of my tops, and I like it better than London. I've only done London for a few days here and there. I like it better than a lot of places. I haven't been to France. Porto was good. Porto was probably something I'll be eager to go back to when the opportunity presents itself. But Budapest is just iconic for a reason. And I can't imagine living here for a year and seeing 60% of it. There's just so much, and I get sidetracked so easily by the little details. There's a fence up here. I spent like an hour just checking out this fence last time I was here, because it's a metal fence with all this ornate work done to it, and you're just like, who put the time, energy, and money into such an ornate little fence? And it looks like it was back when, look at that building over there. It's just fabulous. But it looks like the fence was built back when, back before World War II or just after World War II. And so you're like, wow. They're renovating this one. It's just super. But I mean, even look at this buttress here, right? Or this little castle tower, or whatever you want to call it, right? It's just beautiful. Who puts work into stuff like that anymore? Oh, my camera's going all wanky, right? Who puts work into stuff like that anymore? Yeah, imagine having one of these. I'd sit up on that deck in the rain or shine. Okay, I'm just rambling, but boy, am I excited to be back in Budapest and Europe. First day in Budapest is not disappointing at all. May disappoint the viewers of this video because it's going to be long and boring, but life doesn't get much better. Just another quick pano. Just just amazingly beautiful. I'm gonna go back one more time and I'm gonna zoom in on this one, crop in. So the quality won't be as good, but you can kind of see. Boy, you know who could shoot some great videos over here? Overstay Road, King Marcos. Get his ass on a plane over here with his camera. I was watching one of his videos in high def, you know, in a hotel. Popped up on the, you know, I clicked into the TV, clicked onto YouTube and found it. And I was watching one of his videos he shot with that new camera of his, or newer camera. And holy smokes, I was stunned at the quality. It blew me away seeing it on a big high def screen. It was just phenomenal, really humbling. The other guy, I don't know how he does it, but Off the Cuff, Jamie Off the Cuff Adventures, he gets some spectacular colors in his videos when you pull them up on anything but a phone, anything bigger than a phone. I don't know what his secret is, but definitely impressive. Some of the vibrant colors he gets, and he said, if I remember right, he said he doesn't do any like post-production. So I didn't like grill him on how he's, you know, what settings and what cameras or anything, but it's just a great channel to go watch. Anyway, be back. Okay, I'm gonna kind of do this artificially, but look at the spires on that corner down there. And I remember the day. It was cold, it was windy, it was kind of gnarly. And I'm walking down here. I was on the other side of the street though. I was up there by that rail car going by. And I see that spire, and as I rounded the corner more and more of that building became apparent to me, or where, you know, in my vision. And, you know, I'm like all excited about that building up there. And all of a sudden I round the corner, and that building is so big, the only real way to see the entire building is to go across the river and look back at it, because it's just so massive. It's just massive, and it's so ornate. You can walk by the front, but I tried for hours, not hours, I tried for a long time to get a picture up close, and the only way I could get a picture of the whole building was being over there. In fact, I think I shot one from right over here by this church. And I shot one from, I think it was by that red building. But it was just so funny because, you know, I'm like, oh, what's that? What's that? What's that? And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you get closer, there's a statue up there. That's where I'm headed. But to me, it was just the funniest thing to have that happen, you know, in real time, in person. Like, you know, it's like climbing a mountain. And the higher you go, the better the view. And you're just like, oh. So you have this expectation. It just gets blown out of the water the closer you get or the higher you get. And that's what happened. Yeah, so I was right about here when I took that picture 2 years ago. And you can see, it's coming around the side here, you can see that building just keeps going and going and going all the way down there at the very end. Like, you can see a little spire. That's not even the end of the building. It just keeps going and going. Okay, so there's the statue over there, yeah. And then there's the front of that building. And then you can see that building just keeps going. Those two spires there in the center, they're about I think that's about the center of the building. And you can kind of see the dome. But it's just a massive, massive building. But I'm gonna head up there, follow all these people, and get some other pictures, other angles. But again, if you really want a good picture, head over there. Sunset, it gets a nice, good lighting effect. I gotta tell you, it feels good being back here, because instead of like staggering upstairs, I'm double stepping them and outpacing the tour crowds. There's the big statue, the big building, and the crowds are immense today. I don't know how that's framing out. There's another big statue of a horse over here. And at night, it was so cool. I was out here one night. This place was full of crows at night. And they looked like bats because it was so dark. And they were just squawking, and there's some, you know, foul weather going on. It was just crazy. But these tour groups with the megaphones, this guy's not too bad, but some of them are pretty bad. Just annoying. I like places where they make them wear the headsets. You can see this whole park is just monstrous. And this is all that same building. And over there, I mean, I can walk around and point at every little thing that, you know, excites me. But believe me, it's a struggle for me to just walk by so much of this. Even these simple buildings like this, right? You look at the artwork, you look at the figures, right? And this is just a basic, simple building for Budapest. For Budapest, it's a basic, simple building. But, you know, for most places in the world, it's a spectacular work of art. But yeah, let's check out the cathedral, or the dome, whatever you want to call it. It's just great. Just great. I will say though, don't come here if you don't want your picture taken. It's like Split. Everybody's got their camera going. So normally I'm pretty shy about getting people on film, but places like this, you know, it is what it is. It is so uplifting to see all the renovations going on though. There was a little bit a few years ago, but I've seen so many buildings that are getting facelifts, getting cleaned up already this morning. I've only been on the ground a few hours. It's really great. Yeah, and then see, to me this is kind of like my little center of the world, because you have all this beautiful statue and the buildings, and then you head back that way and it takes you to that Christmas market I was at earlier, and that statue right there is really interesting. There's so much to see and do here. So much to see and do. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here and get a couple pictures of the front, and then I didn't realize, but I forgot to bring my batteries. I was in such a hurry to get on the road, get my coffee and get on the road. I need new batteries. Okay, so I'm out in front of the monster building. You know, I've said it many times, I'll say it again, I'm the clueless traveler, right? I don't know the names of these, but the statues there are great. That statue's if I remember right, it's the lion wrestling a snake, if I remember right, and then there's some figures below it. But I think I'm gonna call this my first morning in Budapest, and you know, honestly, I'm adrenaline, like redlining right now, just tapping out on all my adrenaline. Like I remember walking down this street over here and all the little figures on the buildings were just spectacular. And then I know it's silly, but seeing renovations like this just excites me, because again, people are putting money, energy, time, and effort into, you know, keeping something beautiful. And then all these statues up here, right? My old camera, I could zoom in on all those and it was just great. But you know, I could spend hours just enjoying the statues on one building. So I'm literally like almost shaking with adrenaline right now. I'm so excited and happy. But my battery's dying, and I'm gonna walk back and drink a little less coffee today, because the coffee at the hotel was phenomenal, and I think I had too many, especially being sleepless and a pretty much empty stomach. But I'm gonna head back, and I think that we'll call this the end of my first morning in Budapest. You can see we're getting a little weather in. It's that time of year. It's just, you know, enjoy it. I do. I enjoy the bad weather as much as I do the good weather, because you know, I like being out in it, and you get to see and experience things most people don't. So to me, that's a win-win-win, right? Yeah. Sorry, I know this video is probably stupid lame for the average viewer, but for me, you know, this is what I want to be recording for me in 10 years, 20 years, or anybody who really wants to know about me. This is what gets me excited. Like, it's just, I mean, even the clouds, the way the sun's hitting on them, you know, I probably sound like a schizophrenic crackhead right now, but it's just just so cool to go out and explore and see things and do things. And if I remember right, good old Ronnie Reagan's over this way, so I'm gonna save a little battery and get a shot with Ronnie. And then head back to the barn, charge some batteries, get a shower, and calm down a little. Just need to calm down a little. See, statues like this I just love too. I don't really know what it means or says or anything, but it's just beautiful. And come around the other side here. I'm super close, but there's a guy wrestling with a dragon. Yeah, it's just amazing to me. It's got the little ram's head or bull's head at the top, but you can see where we're at. We're right by the big thing. Of course, they got construction going on. It's just life, right? But I think good old Ronnie's right up here, so I'm gonna go find him. So that's the tour guide. Here comes the tour riders. So I talked to a gentleman from England a few minutes ago about these tours. He booked one in advance, paid about €60 a piece for him, and it looked like his daughter said he's having a great time. So that's something I'm really interested in doing. Is I don't know if I'll have time right now. The one thing he cautioned me against is watch out for weather. So he was very concerned he was going to get a bad weather day, and he got a good weather day, so he was super happy. But that was his one advice. Other than that, he said it's great, having a great time. So that's something I'm looking forward to doing at some point in my future. Okay, you got to kind of wait in line to get your picture taken with the Gipper. But good old Ronnie Reagan, there's his name right there. And it's funny, as I traveled around Europe, I was surprised how many statues there are of U.S. presidents around the world. And I found Woodrow Wilson in Albania as well. And, you know, it just kind of shocks me as you wander around Europe, finding statues of U.S. presidents. And we got Reagan over there over my right shoulder. And look who we got here. Good old G.W. Bush. Not sure I'm a big fan of this guy anymore, the more I learn, but